College Buyer from Day and Night magazine.
Hello, I'm Laurent Lecamp, Managing Director for Writing Instruments and Timepieces for Montblanc.
Welcome to Dubai.
Thank you.
You have not been in Dubai now for over a year.
Yes, long time.
Can you tell us the importance of Dubai and the UAE for Montblanc?
Of course. Before starting, if you allow me, I would like to say big thanks to some people before we start this interview, because without them I would not be here. I'm lucky because I have a very strong and good team in Switzerland. There's people that we don't see, the watchmakers, the marketing part, logistics part, production and so on. And I would like to congratulate them for what they achieved in the last 3 to 4 years, because all together we repositioned Montblanc and Minerva, and it was a teamwork. So I would like to use that opportunity to first say many thanks to my team. Voilà, into brackets.
Mentioning that, with all the hard work that you have done, the whole team of Montblanc have done, can you tell us the status of Montblanc watches currently?
Yes, of course. To make it very simple, Montblanc timepieces, we implemented 3-4 years ago something I would say new, but always in accordance with the roots of Montblanc. All new products we have launched in the last years, they're all based on 3 key elements. A very strong storytelling, very strong one. A very strong innovation, and very high perceived value. That's the recipe for both Montblanc timepieces and Minerva pieces. And that's something we have managed to do with a team together. That's why I wanted to congratulate the team. And that's something we've managed to do, and you see the results also on the market.
For 2024, Montblanc has reaffirmed its commitment for pretty much the IC, the Minerva line, the O2 line, and the Geosphere. Why, and will that be the same for 2025?
The thing is, if you want to be successful, you need a face. In that case, what you have mentioned, it's 4 different faces. Minerva, once you have a Minerva product on your wrist, you recognize it at the first sight. Minerva is the super high-end, handmade, one watchmaker for one caliber, one watchmaker assembling one piece. It means at the customer you can meet your watchmaker, that's Minerva. We introduced as well the fact that each own caliber developed since 1902 can be repaired. So it means we can repair all our own calibers since 1902, 100% of them. That's the strength of Minerva. So we have the design, we have the complexity, we have the technicity. Montblanc, it's very interesting because we reposition the brand around the wall of mountaineering, zero oxygen, and you have mentioned with the specific complication, the Geosphere one. The IC is the key product we have launched. It is based on a beautiful story. The dial has been inspired by the glacier of the Mont Blanc Massif, the main one, Mer de Glace, iced sea. Zero oxygen is a concept dedicated to the world of mountaineering. As you know, we are lucky to have a marque maker who is Reinhold Messner, the first mountaineer in the world who was capable of reaching the highest summits over 8,000 meters between 1970 and 1986 without the use of additional oxygen. And this concept has been used for the watches we have developed, putting no oxygen inside. And we became the first brand in this world developing timepieces with no oxygen inside, which has a huge influence on the products. No oxidation, so lower oxidation process, no humidity inside, and so on. And the last one you have mentioned is very crucial for us. This is the Geosphere. Geosphere is a complication by Montblanc, but developed by Minerva engineers. It's a unique complication. At the first sight, you recognize immediately the Geosphere. So that's why all what we have explained now, it's so strong that we decided to focus much more in the years to come on these 4 key pillars for the brand.
This year, Montblanc introduced a new material, which is the Carbo 2. Can you tell us more about the material itself?
First of all, it's a world premiere, not only for watches, but if you pay attention to all the industries existing in the world, it's a world premiere. Imagine, CO2 is a gas. Okay, but when you observe the glaciers, where we are coming from with Montblanc, when you observe glaciers, they are melting because of the CO2. So the idea was, okay, is it possible to create a watch with a glacier dial and the CO2 around? People say, no, of course it's not, because CO2 is a gas. But we manage to transform a gas into something solid. And that's the world premiere. Because the case we have developed is made of CO2. Not only, but it's made of CO2, and you have carbon fiber as well. And that's completely unique in terms of watchmaking. It has been tested, you have no allergy, you have nothing, and something magical will happen. We don't know why, but this new material is living. It seems to be something solid and not moving, but it's living. Because when we speed up, I would say, time, we have laboratories to accelerate the time, we see that the black color we have will become more gray in the future. And nobody can explain why. So that's interesting. We developed a new material, and this material will have an evolution. The watch you have mentioned has no oxygen inside, glacier dial, the CO2 case, and a very specific, looking like an engraving on the case back, but I'm sure we will come back to this subject in a few seconds.
Technically, how was the material created?
The CO2?
Yes.
So we have a lot of secrets. I cannot share the secrets because if I share everything, it would be easier for competitors to enter this market. But technically, it's made in Switzerland. We are using Swiss CO2. So even here, it's Swiss made, I would say. So Swiss 100%. So we are working with some companies that are recycling specific objects. And during the process of recycling, we will have CO2 in the process of recycling. We capture this CO2, and the CO2 will be mixed with something we have developed so that we can capture it, transformed into something like powder, and then the powder will be mixed with carbon fiber, and at the end we obtain this beautiful case. This is what I can share with you. The other secrets, of course, cannot be shared. So it was a strong investment, a huge investment for us to create this strong differentiation. One of the key pillars I explained at the beginning of our conversation.
Mentioning it was a big investment, will that mean that there will be more watches in the future that will feature that material?
So I don't want to speak about the future, but yes, the CO2 will be used in next developments, because the CO2 case, but not as it has been developed for this first model, because we want each model to be unique in terms of complexity, and we want all the collectors having such a pleasure and not seeing the same product 1 year after. We try always to have an evolution. So it will be different, meaning that if you start collecting the CO2 one, the Carbo 2, in that case, piece, then the year after you will for sure collect the new one, because there is CO2, but there is something on top as well, which is completely new. So that's the point.
Montblanc has also released the zero oxygen deep 4810.
Yeah.
Water resistant to 4,810. Which is the height of the mountain.
Absolutely, of the Montblanc, yes. Yeah.
How were the watches tested? I mean, you can't tell me went undersea for 4,810 meters. So how was the watches tested?
It's an excellent question. First, the watch is not going to minus 4810 only. It's going to more than 600 meters in the depths of the oceans, because it has been ISO certified. Meaning that on top of the 4810 meters, we have to add a 25% for the test. When you go to the suppliers asking if it's possible to test the watch, they all say, no, we don't have the equipment for this. When we go to specific companies testing extreme pieces, testing or very technical pieces, they say, no, sorry, we don't have the equipment. So then we had to develop our own equipment. But in order to be legitimate, we had to make a certification for this. So it means we were asking an external company to develop an equipment specifically for us. It has been tested, it has been certified, and then we are working with external laboratory to to certify the ISO 6425 certification, allowing that we are not going only to minus 4810, but minus 4810 plus 25%. But if you visit the manufacturer, and you know the manufacturer, but if you visit again, you will see we can show you this new equipment we have developed, and you will see all the tests we are doing every day for these pieces. So that's why we cannot produce a lot. We produce a few hundreds per year only, because we need time for testing perfectly the product before delivery to the market.
The laser caseback for Montblanc was introduced a couple of years ago, and the surprise of so many people when they see it for the first time is unbelievable. It became iconic to the brand now. Are you surprised by the outcome and the reaction of people when they see it?
My wish, I would like each sales associate in this world to start explaining Montblanc timepiece, turning the watch around. Because every time you want explanations about a specific timepiece, all sales associates in the world, all brands together, they start with a dial. But we are starting with a caseback. Luxury lies in details. We have to be where others are not. That's the point. My wish is clearly that luxury could be perceived also on both sides of the watch. So what we have developed is very interesting, because it looks like being colored on the caseback, but it's not. It's oxidized. We have a few lasers, and we're working with these lasers to create the depths, the contour, and the colors on the casebacks. When you have colors on the casebacks, it means that you have a big risk after a few weeks or few months' time that everything will disappear. Because when you sweat, when you perspire, or with humidity, or when it's hot and when it's cold, in Dubai, for example, so it will have an influence on these colors. By Montblanc, using this process, makes it possible to have the colors forever, I would say, because it's oxidized. And when we do a caseback, we have to test the first time for a few hundred hours to create what we want to create on the caseback. Once we know how to do it, we need 3 to 4 hours per caseback for the production. So imagine the process, what it means. Every time there is a new caseback, we need a few hundred hours tests to create it. Because again, you have 3 things to be created using these lasers. We create the contour, the depth, and then the colors. But the color, again, it's oxidation of titanium. Because what you see only works with titanium casebacks. We tried with steel, we tried with gold, with platinum, and we don't know why, but it's not working the same way. We don't have these beautiful colors that we can obtain with titanium. So very technique, but at the end, it brings something really innovative to the pieces.
We'll jump to Minerva. Minerva is known for its monopusher chronograph.
Mm-hmm.
And Montblanc or Minerva did a twist to it, which is to reverse the movement. Can you tell us in terms of aesthetics what did it do when you reverse the movement, and if there's any technical advantage to it?
Of course. First, I would like to share with you a very interesting story, anecdote. 3 years ago, I was back home, and my daughter was 3 years old. When I was back home at night, late at night, she was complaining. She was waiting for the dad to get home to get the kiss before sleeping. And I arrived late, and she said, why late, she said, because she was not speaking at that time so well. And I just explained I was at the manufacturer and so on. She said, okay, show me your watch. I just gave the watch to my daughter, the Minerva one. She turned the watch around and said, "Ah, Papa, magnifique." And exactly at this moment, I understood something. The beautiful part of a Minerva piece was hidden since 1858. The most amazing part was always on the other side of the case. The one you will never see. The next day, I was at the manufacturer. I asked my team to develop a new concept, a reverse movement, to show to the world the beauty of Minerva. And the concept is the following. When you turn a caliber around, everything is working anti-clockwise. In that case, we have 252 components for the classical movement that was more than 100 years old, this movement. We just turn around, but then we had to develop additional components, a gear train of additional 21 components, so that you obtain 273 components at the end, but everything working clockwise. It has been made internally. While doing this, we observed that we are the first chronograph monopusher in history of watchmaking with the bridges on the dial side. And it was patented. And it's so beautiful because it's not it's not a skeleton. C'est pas un squelette. It is reversed. It is the other side. Now you see what was hidden. That's unique. And it's good that you are mentioning this point because this is the bestseller ever now by Minerva. So you see how we can use the heritage to build the future. That's a very good example.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Welcome.